Campaign 2018 is sponsored by Wisconsin Hospital Association, Wisconsin Counties Association, Wisconsin Realtors Association, Marshfield Clinic Health System, and Campaign 2018 partner Milwaukee Journal Sentinel.
Some chairs.
Here we go.
That were.
Cari Fay of Maryland is a Democratic candidate in the 70th Assembly District. Cari, welcome to WisconsinEye.
Hi, thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure being here, and thank you for giving me the opportunity
Well,
to come
thank you
in.
for coming. I know you're going out meeting voters, so let's talk about what the voters think are the key issues in the race, or maybe the one or two issues that you've identified as the top issues in the race.
Going around, it's always healthcare is
Healthcare.
number one, and then there are the roads, and then there's the funding for education.
Let's talk about healthcare. How can we continue healthcare in the rural areas where you have an older demographic, where you have young people leaving, and where more and more government Medicaid and Medicare are paying for more and more of healthcare? How do we continue that, improve it?
I really feel that we need to get that expansion so we can get the federal funds in.
The Medicaid expansion?
Yes, the Medicaid expansion. And then opening up Badger Care for people to buy into the health insurance. And it would be really great to have it offered at the level, whatever the family income is, so that it's not taking all the middle class family or lower end income families' money to pay medical bills. And what I noticed talking to some people, even though they have a farm, they are still the wife and husband are both working so that they can make ends meet and get quality health care.
Do you think state government has a role in retaining and recruiting doctors and nurses and other medical professionals?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Do you think state government has a role, an obligation to help recruit doctors, nurses, and other medical professionals?
Yes, I do.
You do, okay. Medically across the state, underserved, Wisconsin residents are eligible to receive dental treatment through a program sponsored by state government and Delta Dental. Some of these clinics are struggling because of Medicaid reimbursement rates. If you're a member of the Assembly, do you think these prevention dental care for children should be expanded or continued? Do you think that should be a priority?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Because when you get older, the teeth are very vital for eating, and also if they get infections and then it gets into their bloodstream, that can create future medical issues.
A big gridlock issue in the Capitol is how we pay for highways and bridges. What are your thoughts on how we pay for our future highways and maintenance?
Well, I was asked that last week, and I said to increase the registration.
The $75
amount,
that
yep.
you and I pay annually?
Mm-hmm. And also to include any traffic fines that are related to repairing vehicles, that part of that funding from that ticket gets put into that transportation fund to help repair the roads. And it would be great that if that money that is coming into the state of Wisconsin federally for transportation, particularly that get sent out to the rural areas so that the roads can be repaired, because they are terrible up there. It costs more to drive on the road because your vehicle receives damages, and then that's more money out of the taxpayers' money or wallet.
The discussion in the Capitol of potential tolling, your position on tolling?
I really haven't done any thought on that. I mean, right now, I feel like that would not be an option at this time. I think we should look at other avenues first before tolling.
In light of the mass shootings and in tragic school shootings, do we need to change our gun laws, Cari?
I feel that people have the right to have firearms, but in the same time, they should go through background checks, and they should receive some type of certification saying that they've gone through gun safety And I really feel that when families do have weapons in the house, that the kids also should go through some type of gun safety so that they're aware of what the guns are for, you know, be it hunting, and know what the safety is so that they know it's not a toy and what damage that it can cause.
The current state budget dramatically had a big increase in state aid to K-12 public schools. You think that was enough, or do we need to look at another major increase in the next state budget?
We need to do another major increase.
Why?
Go back and look at it.
Why?
Because we need to have money in there to pay the teachers the amount that they deserve and continue the quality education that they're giving our students. And they need the tools and the support staff to do that as well. And currently, the funding that they have now, it's not doing that.
If we had to come up with an additional 400 or 500 million, for example, for our public schools, any ideas on how to raise that money? Would you favor any type of a tax increase or some other means of coming up with it?
I could see a little tax increase. You know, we don't want to take, there's already middle class families out there that are paying too much to live. And the wages that are being paid to people, it's not enough to live. I believe that there is other money out there that the government has that can be funneled into the education system. We just have to find it. It is there. You know, if we didn't spend so much money, let's see, just Foxconn, that's a lot of money going there when that money could be used otherwhere.
Well, thanks for bringing that up. Foxconn, potentially $4.5 billion in state and local tax breaks and other incentives.
Yes.
Bad decision for Wisconsin?
I believe it is a bad decision. That money definitely could go elsewhere, could go to the education system, to the healthcare system, to the hospitals, to the UW system as well. And with Foxconn, you know, with them lifting environmental regulations, you know, state of Wisconsin is built on its landscape, it's built on its quality of air and clean water. And by lifting those regulations, it's not helping anything. We're supposed to be here for the people and our animals and our landscape. So how can we continue that? What type of legacy are we going to leave behind for our future generations?
So you don't think any businesses or residents or workers in the 70th will benefit from Foxconn?
No.
It may not be an issue in the 70th district, but school choice, the voucher program, has been expanding it went from Milwaukee to Racine to statewide. Do you have a position on school choice?
Not at this time. I don't. I would have to do some more research. From what I hear from the Milwaukee area, that it hasn't really improved anything. The education is still at the same level in these choice schools or charter schools, and all that money is being put into a program that hasn't succeeded to the level that they were hoping it would be.
As a member of the Ho-Chunk Nation, what unique perspective would you bring to the Assembly?
Knowing and believing that we are all one, we're one with nature, to respect Mother Earth, and only taking what you need to survive. I don't know why we have to keep depleting our natural resources when we will need those natural resources for the farmers so they can grow their foods, you know, and to feed our animals. It's just, we have to take that into account. What are we going to leave behind for our future generations? We just can't think about now about, you know, just getting the money and depleting our natural resources to gain that money. What are we going to leave behind for our kids?
A big issue in the next budget is whether we need a new state prison. The prisons in Green Bay and Waupun were built in the 18th century. We're closing the 2 juvenile prisons. Do you think we need a new state prison?
No, I don't think we do.
Why?
Because we already have too many people in them. There's a lot of offenders in there that could come out, you know, that are on lesser charges, nonviolent, And I just don't think we need another prison. We just need to work more on families, on family-based values, programs, so that when kids grow up, that they make better choices and decisions on, be it drugs or alcohol or guns.
Local governments have lived with levy limits, which limit the amount of property taxes they can levy since 2006. Some local officials say that's hurting their ability to provide local services. Do you think we should keep them in place, levy limits, or dial them back or get rid of them? Do you have a position on that?
I feel that we need to dial them back incrementally and eventually just give the control back to the local governments, because they're the ones there who know what they need. And with these levy limits, us smaller communities cannot get the state funding because they don't have the money to develop. And that's how they receive money, is if there's new construction, then they'll receive more money in the next fiscal year. So if there is no new developments, there is no increase in the levy, or in the funding coming to the local.
Your position on legalizing either medical marijuana or recreational marijuana?
I feel that, oops,
Thank you for putting that, reinstalling that. Appreciate it. Or you can just hold it. Go ahead.
oh, here, let's stick it back down. Medical marijuana, I'm for that. I support that. And as far as recreational, a lot of people immediately will think, getting high and that's all it's for. But there is marijuana that is medical marijuana for people who go through chemotherapy or have epilepsy for seizures. I feel that marijuana should be legalized, not for recreational at this time, but for other products that it can bring to the market, because they're more durable.
Thoughts on the next step to take that Wisconsin could take to deal with the heroin, methamphetamine, opioid epidemic?
Creating programs where families will learn together on the effects of opioids, meth, heroin, so that, again, these values and information is instilled in them, so that when they get older or they are presented with it, that they make the right decision that's going to be better for them, not take them down a path that is going to be a struggle for their life. So, I was just going to say,
go ahead, please.
I know when I was growing up in Milwaukee, I was in a program called Peer Listeners, and it was a group of kids. We learned all about drugs and alcohol, and then after that, after we came up with presentations, then we were sent out to the local community centers, and we spoke to kids our same age to let them know and give them the same knowledge, so that they would make better decisions when they get older. And that program, I believe, is a plus, and I think that if all over the state, if kids were informed, they would make better decisions.
Last question. You want to highlight differences between you and the incumbent you're challenging on November 6th, please, Cari?
Okay. Well, you've already mentioned it. I am a Ho-Chunk Nation tribal member. And like I said before, my beliefs are that we are one with Mother Earth, and so we should be making decisions along those lines. And the other thing is that I truly believe that we are all one, that we are all equal, and we all should be treated that way. It doesn't matter what race you are, what sexual preference you have. Everyone should have the given right to do what they want to do, unless of course it's illegal. You can't do illegal things, but
Understand.
Let's see. And I'm definitely for the environment. And lifting these environmental protection regulations is just pointing Wisconsin in the wrong direction from where Wisconsin came from or what it was built on.
Okay, thank you. Cari Fay of Maryland is a Democrat running in the 70th Assembly District. The general election is November 6th. Cari, thank you for talking to WisconsinEye.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Campaign 2018 is sponsored by Wisconsin Hospital Association, Wisconsin Counties Association, Wisconsin Realtors Association, Marshfield Clinic Health System, and Campaign 2018 partner Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel.